So when you breathe in, just let your stomach expand. When you breathe out, let your shoulders drop. Keep doing that as I speak, okay? Nowhere to go, nothing to do, nothing to prove or disprove. Rather than praying for some miracle to happen, acknowledge the miracle that is happening now. So the peace process or the miracle process is about becoming mindful, but bypassing the typical way that people become mindful, which is by being critical of the thoughts that are arising in their mind and identify with the thoughts that are arising in their mind. Because if you're not mindful, then these thoughts are still happening, but you're not paying attention to them, and they're slowly eroding your happiness, or quickly eroding your happiness. And this is why people have eating disorders, why they're depressed, why they're angry, why they are not living a fulfilled life, because these thoughts that the mind is going to have are not being acknowledged and being transcended. So how does it work? Well, basically, if you have a thought like, I'm angry at this person, I'm angry about something happening in my life, I'm depressed that this hasn't happened, I'm depressed that that did happen, I'm worried that that happened, it's going to happen, I feel regret that that happened, whatever it is, the emotion attached to some thought. You immediately, through practice, go to the miracle that that is, because you're on a marble spinning in space with billions of other people in a society that evolved over many generations, whether you believe in God or evolution and random chance, whatever it is, it doesn't matter how you got here. It's pretty miraculous that you're here, and you're this being who's having this thought of regret, anger, depression, anger, guilt, sadness, whatever the thing coming up is, and who's worrying perhaps about some thing that won't matter to anybody in 200 years from now. So that's the idea. You don't have to go through that whole process, but just remembering, taking in that point of view, that perspective of the miraculous nature. So we'll just do it as guided meditation very briefly. We start with the following. So when you breathe in, just let your stomach expand. When you breathe out, let your shoulders drop. Keep doing that as I speak, okay? Nowhere to go, nothing to do, nothing to prove or disprove. Nowhere to go, nothing to do, nothing to prove or disprove. And that just brings us into the present moment. Nowhere to go, nothing to do, nothing to prove or disprove. From this moment forth, I will recognize every thought, every opinion, every emotion, whether so-called positive or so-called negative, as a miracle, as a bizarre outcome of such a long history of geological and societal. All these things had to happen to this planet and to the society for me to exist, and then for me to have this particular thought or feeling or emotion or opinion. And if I forget that, if I become unconscious or become attached to a thought and then remember it, I will remind myself that it is a miracle. And by this method, I will not be critical of my thoughts, but I will be mindful of my thoughts, each and every thought. It's not purely gratitude, because I may not feel gratitude over anger or depression, but I will remember that it is miraculous that it happened, that it's happening, that it might happen in the future. That is a miracle. I am the aspect of the universe that is getting to experience, whether it wants to or not, this particular emotion or situation. That is amazing. And so whenever you're filled with any kind of desire to get love by telling people how great you are or how smart you are or by some accomplishment, rather than beating yourself up for that pride, you say, well, that's a miracle. Wow, there's this being who I am, or at least I identify as being, who feels a need to be acknowledged and is doing so through this particular method. Right? So then you're mindful of, and you may be wrong about why you're doing something, but typically it's to get love or to keep love. In general, like why are you getting ahead in business? Why are you working hard in school? Why are you bullying somebody? Why are you worried about being bullied? Why are you having an eating disorder? Why are you getting angry? Why are you depressed? Why do you feel that your life is going nowhere? Why do you feel your life is really going on track? It's all about whether or not you have love. And so that's fine, but let's be acknowledging that. Let's be aware of that without having any criticism of ourselves for it. It's a miracle. This ball is spinning in space with billions of other people. All these different geological and societal events happen to have you created up. Could have been somebody else, but here you are, and you're now in the process of trying to get love. Whether that's right or wrong, whether you're successful or not, is secondary to the fact that it's a miracle. That is what you want to train yourself to be focused on. The miracle of everyday, mundane existence. Rather than praying for some miracle to happen, acknowledge the miracle that is happening.